You made it through the first battle, you registered for classes, you got everything figured out, you found your professors, and now it's time to ace your classes. This is where a lot of people make mistakes and they work way too hard and their effort does not match their grade. This is the work smarter, not harder approach that I adopted during undergrad, and while it does sound pretty lazy, it's actually, I learned everything really well and I do really well in med school, but it saved me so much time and stress. So here are 3 ways to make sure you're working smarter, not harder, and it's actually working well for any learning style. So here we go. Number 1 is TAs. If you're not going, you're holding yourself back. I don't mean every TA is going to be golden, but here's how to use TAs to the best of your ability. TAs know exactly what's on the test. They've taken it before, and their review sessions are going to be telling you exactly what to do. Now, there are multiple TAs and multiple review sessions depending on the school and depending on the class. So, if you get the right TA, who's done this for a long time and knows exactly what's on the test, he or she or they will know exactly what's on the test. So, come prepared to those. Do all of it, and this is a time for you to synthesize everything. It's a time for you to, if you hear anything you don't understand or recognize, that should cue you in, oh yeah, I need to know this for the test. So that's the first thing. The review sessions help you consolidate. Not only that, but you can ask questions. Like if there's something where you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be tested on this, you can raise your hand in the review sessions and say, hey, I had a question about this. Is that relevant to the test? And that's the best question you can ask. Is that relevant to the test? If they say no, then stop worrying about it, because now you're studying something that's not going to help you on the test. You should maybe study outside of it if you're really curious, but this will not help you ace the test. And then also, the TAs know everything. You can go up to them after class, ask them questions, have them show something to you, have them explain a concept, whatever's giving you trouble during class. Not only that, you can also be like, hey, can you help me maybe later during the day? They're being paid to do this. So yeah, the next thing about it is they're being paid to do this. Give them opportunities to get paid more. Give them opportunities to tutor you. They're a tutor, a free tutor, that knows exactly what's going to be on the test. So use them. Not only that, I'm actually going to give you guys an amazing way to do this. Just go walk up to them and say, hey, here's a concept that I don't understand. Can you please walk me through it? They'll walk you through it and it'll be awesome. Hey, this is actually stressing me out a lot. I know you have a busy schedule, but would you mind meeting with me outside of class so that I can really get this down? And if they say no, okay, go to a different TA and keep asking. And if they say yes, now you have that free tutor that knows everything on the test. You can make that relationship with them and you can learn. So yeah, that's the first thing, TAs. Pro tip, not all TAs are created equal. So sometimes there are good TAs, there are bad TAs. So how do you figure out which one is the best? The trick is to ask people who have already taken the class. If they had a bad TA, they'll tell you, and they'll probably know from talking to other pre-meds who the good TA is. That's the one you should talk to because they'll help you the most. Kind of like how if you saw my other video, the right professor will help you the most to achieve your best grade. So yeah, make sure you're talking to people, make sure you know who the good TAs are so that this technique can really help you. It saved me on so many exams. I had a really good microbiology TA and that was the best grade I ever got because I went to all the TA reviews. They were all high yield, meaning everything that they talked about was really, really tested on the exam. So it was really helpful. I would recommend that to anybody trying to make sure they get the most out of their studying and not to dwell on concepts that they think that may or may not be on the exam. The second thing is Khan Academy. Khan Academy is all these videos. If you're a very visual learner, Khan Academy takes these enormous classes you have that take weeks and weeks, and they'll basically break down the lectures into 20-minute videos or less. And so it's really helpful after you've studied what the teacher's telling you, after you've walked through it, or even before, you go through that 20-minute video and you see what you need to know, you can connect the dots. I use Khan Academy for a lot of different things, and it never let me down. Like, Khan Academy somehow knows everything that's going to be on your test before you even know what's going to be on your test. So Khan Academy is really useful. It's free. It even has videos for MCAT stuff. So like I've used this throughout my entire undergrad. I'd recommend Khan Academy to anyone. The way that you use it most effectively, in my opinion, would be this way. You've basically come up with everything. You're using Khan Academy to answer little questions. You're synthesizing, you're watching these like recaps on what you learned in class, making sure you're quizzing yourself throughout. You got all of that down. Then you go to your TA session and you ask if it's in scope for class, you ask different questions. Those are gonna be your two humongous resources for making sure that the content is just fresh and you know exactly what's gonna be on the test. Khan Academy, their videos are short and sweet and they get right to the point. There's like nothing. They'll just explain these tough concepts and it will be super easy to understand. So yeah, Khan Academy is super useful because sometimes, I hate to say it, but like our professors are really smart and it's hard to break down really tough topics, especially if you only have so many lectures. They're trying to get through material like that. Boom, 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 boom. Khan Academy, it's like, hey, yo, let's take a break. Here is this little nugget that we're gonna break down into very digestible bites for you. And it helps you kind of break down these really big topics like o-chem, chemistry, biology, biochemistry, everything. It's broken down really well. And that brings us to our last tip, which is flashcards. I made a lot of my own flashcards for o-chem, but later down the line, I actually ran into Quizlet, and Quizlet does quizzes for almost any class. Like a couple times I've looked up my own class at my college and somebody had gone on Quizlet and made a flashcard deck that I just flew through and made sure I knew the stuff. It's just one more way you can make sure you know the material and make sure that you're learning everything super well. Yeah, I would say there's another flashcard service called Anki. People started using it for MCAT. I used Quizlet and Anki. Anki has started adopting more. It was really good for the MCAT stuff, but I've noticed going through it for medical school that they have Anki for undergrads and those classes as well. The way it works in medical school is I think Anki is king. They use this thing called Anki. It's like the Anki deck that helps you do STEP, but they have an MCAT one as well. It's on this site called Anki Web, and you pay a subscription for it, but the way to do it is to pay the $6 subscription. They let you download whatever you want and then cancel it. What you're doing is you're getting the majority of the content. What you're missing out on is they update those cards and they do different maintenance things. And so you may have an out-of-date deck, but it'll save you a lot of money because you won't be paying $6 a month. You'll just pay a $6 fee and get endless amounts of flashcards that will take you months to get through. So I think that would be the best way if you're trying to use Anki. It would help you prep for med school because everybody uses Anki here. Even I do, and I'm not a huge Anki user, but I see the appeal and it's actually really helpful. So yeah, Anki, flashcards, those will help you drill that stuff in so you don't forget after a lecture. You just keep drilling it so that you never forget, you never have to go back. It's just fresh in your mind always. And actually I forgot to mention, but the last thing that would be really helpful, study groups. It's the same kind of thing for flashcards. Study groups are super helpful, but only after you've synthesized. Don't expect to use study groups to learn the content because it's gonna stress you out. Everybody has different ways of learning. People will say all these different things and it may or may not be helpful on the test. So go in there, every once in a while hear something that you didn't know and that will help you with your studying. Not only that, but when you verbalize what you've learned and try and explain it, that's when you really can know if you know it. That really helped me in all my classes because we would try and teach each other and then we'd realize, oh shoot, I really don't know this. Just because you've seen something doesn't mean you know it. That is why group studying is so helpful in explaining it to people. And that's why flashcards are also so useful because just because you saw it on the slides doesn't mean you've retained it or know how to use it. And when the test comes, you're like, oh wait, yeah, I actually don't know it. And that's gonna tank your grades. So all these ways will make sure that you're studying exactly what you need to study. So that's your TAs. And that you're condensing everything. And that's gonna be your study groups, your Khan Academy, and your flashcards. So that is the way to increase the odds of you always passing a class. If you do this, you will, without fail, do well or excel your classes. So that's what I use, and I never had to worry about doing poorly on an exam. Thank you. Oh, send this to pre-meds who need it. like and comment any questions you have. Please subscribe and send this to the other pre-meds because the algorithm's being annoying. But the last thing I'm going to say is send this to anybody because these ways can help them with any class. It can help you with the science classes and the non-science classes. So send this to anybody who is having any difficulty with their tests and their classes, and this will for sure turn everything around. So I'll see you guys next time.